Hi, my name's Anson Bui, and I am a senior trial attorney at Cohn and Swartzon. We do personal injury law here. I would say that most personal injury cases will settle before a lawsuit is filed, and we call that the pre-litigation phase. So most cases will settle during that time frame, and it's usually the time frame that you count from the time that the incident occurs to just around the 2-year mark of the incident. And that's the pre-litigation phase. If you can settle your case during that time frame, then great. If you can't, and there's an impasse in negotiations with the adjuster, or maybe you're just still seeking medical treatment, so you're not ready to make any type of settlement demand yet. If that's the case, but the 2-year statute of limitations date is approaching, then you may have to file a lawsuit to preserve your claim and to continue pursuing that claim. Once you file a lawsuit, then you'll go through litigation, doing discovery, depositions, retention of experts, etc., and preparing ultimately for trial. So let me talk about that first pre-litigation phase. I would say most cases can settle during that phase. I would say probably maybe 80% or so, maybe more, settle pre-litigation. The rest of the cases where we have to file a lawsuit, of those, a very, very small percentage end up going to trial. A very, very small percentage. And there are varying reasons for that. So when people ask me, what's the likelihood my case is going to go to trial? I would say it's a very, very small percentage, because we will try to settle your case along the way and during the pre-lit phase. And that doesn't mean that we're going to be giving up the full value of your case or anything like that. It just means that if we can settle it during that phase, then it makes sense to do so. If we can't and we have to litigate, then we'll go through with that process of discovery, depositions, hiring experts, etc. But to ultimately get to trial, that's going to be something that would only happen if there's a very big dispute as to the value of the claim. Because for one thing, it's very difficult to get to trial. Most of the courthouses are, they're full of lawsuits, and so they set multiple trials each day with the understanding that as you get closer to the trial date, they'll take the ones that have priority. And that process just keeps repeating itself, where if it's not your turn, you get kicked out a little bit further, and then you check in with the court on the next trial date. If it's still not your turn because you don't have priority, you get kicked out again. So even if you want to take a case to trial, it might take probably 3-4 years from the date that the incident occurs until you can actually see your day in court, if that's something that you're aiming for. But also keeping in mind that most cases will end up settling before you get to that point. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Anson Bui. I'm a senior trial attorney at Cohn and Swartzon. Please reach out to us if you have any car accidents or if you suffer a personal injury. We're here to help you.